Hey everybody, today I got a special guest I want to share with you. If you live in the Casselberry, Orlando area, this is someone that you need to definitely meet. We have Ed Pisani, who is the owner of I4 Web Services, and he'll be here to tell us a little bit about what he does, his involvement in the community, and basically life in the area. If you're looking to move or you're looking to learn more about this area, he's a must-meet person that can get you connected in the universe, I guess you could say, or the community. So, Ed, welcome. How are you doing?
Very good. Thank you for having me on the show this morning. I appreciate it. And I look forward to just sharing all about the great things of our community. Been here for quite a few years, moved in the area back 10 years ago when my daughter was 2 years old. My wife was like really enjoyed the Winter Springs, Casselberry side of town, the Oviedo area. So we found a nice little house and we're like, this is where we're going to raise our child. And everything was good. She picked out the house. She saw the house. She put her hand on the kitchen counter. Was like, I want this house. Figure it out. And believe it or not, it was one of those crazy sales where I sold my old house on the same day as my new house, and we did a double closing.
Talk
Yeah,
about
talk.
stress.
Yeah, and we moved out that day and moved in that day. So it was like crazy town, busy, and really, really enjoyed it. Thankfully, everything turned out well, and no one had a heart attack, so I'm still here talking to you.
That's a good thing. So tell us, I know you as someone very involved in the community, very involved locally.
Mhm.
So who are you? What do you do?
Um, High altitude, 50,000 foot perspective. My name's Ed Pisani. EdPisaniJr.com is my personal brand page. I'm an Eagle Scout. I went to college a year early, so I was one of the first generation back in the 90s to go to college a year early. So prior to like everyone doing it these days, it was kind of a newfangled thing. I went to Johnson Wales University, was on Dean's List, got a bachelor's degree in entrepreneurship, associate's degree in entrepreneurship, concentration in leadership studies and social something. So like I can't remember the actual title anymore. Um, Went off, got a job in corporate world, working, doing charity work, found a passion for marketing and starting things up and public speaking. I did thousands of public speeches while I was working for a company. And from there, left that community, became a Toastmaster, wanted to keep up my skills as a public speaker, got a competent communicator, moved forward, joined a Rotary Club several times. And I was part of Lake Mary Rotary. I was part of Mount Dora Rotary, Rotaries out of state, and did a lot of great things with them. I had a chance to help support the youth in the Kiwanis up in DeLand for a brief moment. Member of Freemasonry, Scottish Rite, York Rite, Grotto, Tall Cedars, you name it. I've been doing that since 2003. Very active since I was joined in Mount Dora. Proud Mount Dora Mason, and also proud to be affiliated with Casselberry area Masons as well, doing good things. Lately in the community, uh, just to tie everything together, a nice little bow, I transitioned from a corporate world type opportunity working for a company and started my own business. And I left North Carolina in doing so. And I said, I'm just going to do this. And I jumped both feet, wanted to be closer to family. My mom and dad live in the area of Florida, and had a chance to, get to know people. And I met my wife, and we hit it off really well. I was one of the eHarmony people that met their wives on eHarmony. We didn't hear the music, kind of a disappointment. And all the commercials back in the day had the music playing when you met your spouse, your future one. So we kind of joked around that was never a thing. It's false advertising by eHarmony. But all kidding aside, like we hit it off really well. We got married. We had a small wedding over Enzo's on the Lake. Beautiful little restaurant in Longwood area on 1792. If you have a chance to enjoy that, that is a great place to propose. Great place to have a small wedding. Great place to have dinner. Good Italian food. Um, Had my daughter. Since then, we've been active in St. Stephen's Church in Winter Springs, the Catholic Church. And my wife is a speaker. She gets up in the front of the room and does that at almost every mass a few times a month. I should say at mass a few times a month, not every mass. I don't want to make her seem like she's overkill. We're both Sunday school teachers, and now we do it on Wednesday night, Tuesday nights, depending upon when they need us. Their official title is catechist, but no one in the real world knows what that is. So I just use Sunday school teacher. And like, so I do the teaching of my daughter. I know a lot of folks through that connection. On top of that, I also do scouting, and got involved in scouting because my daughter wanted to make friends her own age. And I said, this scout program, the Cub Scout program, teams you up with kids your own age. And she came in 3rd grade, became a bear, moved up, got Arrow of Light. Now she's in a scout troop, and we've been active ever since. Got involved in the district, helping the district out as a roundtable commissioner. And then they said, you're doing a really good job recruiting a lot of roundtable commissioners. Why don't you be district commissioner? And I was like, okay. And did that for a year. And they said, hey, we really need to do a couple changes, switch things up. So why don't you consider being district chairman for Seminole County? And I was like, okay. So I just slowly evolved doing that. And at the same time, parallel to being a scout leader, doing all these good scouting things, my chamber opportunity came available. This Cub Master of the Cub Scout Pack said, hey, there's a new startup called Casselberry Police Foundation. You should go help them out because you start charities. So in EdPisaniJr.com, what I do is I start charities. I consult and coach charities to be more successful. So I said, sure. And I went over there, met this great man named Arif Fareed. He works with Edward Jones. And we got chatting. He's like, you should join the board. After I basically set up the 501c3, got it approved, got it established with the IRS, got everything set up at the state of Florida, set up their websites, did social media for them for quite a while on the board. And then up until this year, I said it had to take a step back because at that time he was like, you need to join the chamber, the Casselberry Chamber. I was like, okay. Like, when do they meet? Because I have this thing called car line in the morning where it's a disaster trying to get in and out, and dropping off your kid to go to a 7:30 meeting. And he's like, well, we don't meet until lunchtime. And I was like, perfect, I'll join. So from 11:30 to 1 o'clock, first Wednesday of the month, I'm religiously at the Casselberry Chamber because I can make that networking meeting for my unusual schedule. And first year, just hanging out, got involved, got to know different folks. Next year, they were like, hey, why don't you get in the board? Next year, I'm vice president. This year, now I'm president of the board. And it's been a kind of cool experience. Glad to give back. I'm pleasured to serve. And like my business is grown and profited from being part of the chamber. So I want to give back. And that's a little bit about me and the many things that I do. I feel like I've talked for about 8 to 10 minutes straight. You didn't even ask me one question. That's the longest elevator speech I've ever given.
Oh, that's it for today. We know everything. Um, for all you kids out there that might not know, eHarmony today you would be called Tinder.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it would be. Not
you
not
would,
as like engaging from my understanding. You could swipe right, swipe left.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not as engaging. And with
Yeah.
eHarmony, you have to do a little more work.
Yeah, there was like dozens of questions back then. I think there was like 50 to 100 questions I had to answer. And believe it or not, but way back in the day, I was just going on these first dates that went nowhere. Like I could, as you could tell, I'm social. I can talk to folks. And I would meet girls and like we would go out on a date, but there was no chemistry there because they were pretty. They were very pretty. And we just didn't, our values didn't align. Our ideas of direction in life we want to go didn't align. And I was like, I need to have someone that everything really clicks on different levels for. And when I used it, it worked perfectly for me. And I don't think eHarmony is the same as it used to be. But I met this really, really beautiful girl up in North Carolina. And I told my wife, I was like, it was never meant to be, but she wanted to live in North Dakota or Minnesota. And I was like, I want to live south of the Mason District line, like somewhere warm where it doesn't go down to like negative degrees every year. And it just didn't work. Very, very nice person. And we parted friends. And, she went on to live her life. I went on to live my life. And we don't even keep up anymore. Just very, very nice person. Uh, I highly recommended eHarmony to a lot of people I met back in the day. So,
Yeah. So, and what else I unpacked from your longest elevator speech ever is the fact that seems like you get asked to do a lot of stuff and you never say no.
No, well, ironically, just recently I started to say no because I'm at now a place where I need to make sure my business is functioning properly, and I have enough volunteer opportunities on my plate where, um, believe it or not, I feel like a full-time volunteer. And I was asked to be the membership person for the Order of the Arrow, which is a National Honor Society, about a weekend ago. And I just told them I just don't have time at the moment. Like between my commitment to the Chamber of Commerce and doing that properly as president, and the district chairman for Seminole County Scouting, and then having a charity that I run on the side, and also running a business and being active and doing the right things for my daughter's troop, which is priority number one for a lot of ways. I just had to start saying, I just am out of time, and I can recruit someone for you. And that's what I did. Like within that weekend, I recruited someone that really wanted to do the job. And I said, you should tell him you really want to do this job, and I'll let him know you want to do this job. And by the end of the weekend, he had a membership chair for the OA for Central Florida, and that was good. You know, it was just, would I want to do it? Sure. Did I have time to do it? No. And if I did say yes to it, what's not getting done? And like for me, like we have a lot of big things. I call them big rocks we need to knock out in the Casselberry Chamber this year. And we have a lot of big rocks we need to knock out in the district as well. Like we want to reestablish Pinewood Derby for the district Cub Scouts. We're going to do that. We're going to have a movie day in the summertime. We're going to do that. We're adding more program activities in for our scouts. We're going to be making sure things are aligned better. We have day camp we're going to do this year. We're trying to get our top leadership knocked out for that. The chamber wise, we have a big golf tournament coming down the pipeline in less than like 30, 40 days. We're getting a lot of sponsors for that, getting those people filled in, taking care of that. Board duties, we had someone retire that was very active, and getting everyone situated to say, okay, what seat on the bus are you supposed to be doing? Who's doing what? How you're doing it? And giving a lot of people grace because we want to do it right. Making sure we have our chamber retreat, making sure all those pieces of the puzzle are aligned. We have the luncheons, getting people locked in for lunches. There's items on top of items on top of items on top of items. And you know what they say is you get a busy person, they're going to get it done. Um, at the same token, like I also need to stop and take care of the fires that pop up for like in scouting where you need to be, okay, I'm leaning in. Like at the beginning of December, as I was taking over as chamber chair, president, I had to take over in my side charity, which I started up called Seminole County for Scouts, a unit because we had a business owner that said, "I'm not going to charter this anymore. This troop and this pack over in Oviedo." So I was like, "Okay, deep breath, everyone. You can be chartered by my charity, no problem." So we were running around to the DMV, getting license plates redone. We were going over, taking care of meetings to get everything situated, and met with the business owner, got signatures squared away, ran over to the scout office in Apopka, got that paperwork done. So they can continue doing scouting, and like they can deliver the promise that scouts can get to Eagle without interruption. And because of that, three, three scouts became Eagle in the last 30 days from that troop. So doing that, taking care of other things of like signature problems. I had to switch another charter organization the same way. Unfortunately, the Catholic diocese is uncomfortable chartering scouting, so we had to help one another unit over in the Altoan area. So yeah, do a lot of things, get a lot of things done, meet a lot of different people. Don't ever really share challenges that pop up. I just sort of make it look easy. Like at the last meeting, we had a speed networking event. Leaned into that, no problem, did it. Made sure it was done. Got the agenda together, got the board meeting minutes together, got everything together, and just said, okay, we're gonna do this, and like it's gonna happen. It's gonna be successful. That prior week, I was upselling the golf tournament and saying to these people, I was meeting at this multi-chamber event where I was making a lot of connections for my business. Like, hey, we have this speed networking. You need to come to this. This is cool. This is something you need to do. This is going to be a benefit to you. And we had 4 or 5 guests from that event where we had a Rock and Brews over in Oviedo. Great place to get it done. So, not bragging at all. Just when you see the gaps in excellence, it's I think a responsibility for us as leaders in the community to sort of say, don't worry, we got this. We're going to take care of it. For the adults, it's a different mindset. We can have a conversation as adults and say, like, let's put our brains together. But when we're dealing with young people, we have to stop and say, don't worry, kids. You just keep having fun. You keep camping. You keep tying knots. You keep doing things. We're going to take care of the boring stuff and we're going to make it right. And you don't have to worry.
Okay, so let's talk about some of these events. So you are got roped into the police foundation by RF, who's really good at roping people in.
Yeah.
Does the police foundation have an event coming up?
Yeah, they do. I'm actually sponsoring a team of scouts to go to it. We wanted to thank our older scouts that are leaders that are, we ask a lot around their shoulders to like run meetings and do things. And we said, hey, this is your chance to have a slice of pizza and have soda. And my business is one person strong. You're looking at him right here. Like it is me. I don't have Indian coworkers or contractors, anything like that. I work directly with all my folks that I have as clients, which is great. But at the same token, can't put a team of like my employees together to run out there and bowl. So that is definitely something that we're doing. It is coming up really quick. I'm looking at my calendar. It is the 15th of February next week, and it's going to be at Altamont Bowling. I believe it or not had to step off the police board just because I needed to refocus my efforts a bit. But I let the board know I will be a supporter because I believe in what you're doing. I believe that the police departments and sheriff's departments need leaders like ourselves to go out there and say, hey, we're going to lean in. We're not going to lean back. We're going to help you out. When you have an issue, we're going to be there. And I really like the fact of having a police foundation that was started. If the worst case never happened, where there was an auto accident, police member lost his life on a police force, that foundation is set up in Casselberry to basically say to that family, like, hey, what do you need? Hey, we're here.
Yeah, it's definitely a good organization.
Yeah. And it's set up properly right now in case the worst case scenario happens to have it. And if someone's sort of like, hey, I want to jump in there. I want to lean in as well. I like what you guys are talking about. They can go to CasselberryPoliceFoundation.org and there's a donate link right on it and they can just donate. And they can commit to supporting the police officers in Casselberry, Florida, and getting ahead of that need.
Yeah, I'll definitely put the link in the comments section so people want to do it, they can. Um,
Yeah.
Another event that you have coming up that you mentioned was a golf tournament.
Yes, the golf tournament is March 7th. It is coming up quick. That is at the Casselberry Golf Club, and it is the Tale of Two Cities. We're competing with the Maitland Chamber of Commerce, and they're our frenemies. Like we're actually really good friends, all of us. I know a lot of the board members. We all get along, but I was like, for this moment, we're enemies, and we're gonna like mix it up and see who the best golfers are. And so we compete for this trophy, and the person that can win the trophy takes it home, and they have it for the year, and they can say our our chamber city is like the winner of this trophy, and we've won it in Casselberry for a few years now. My concern is that this might be the year when Maitland will steal that title away and have like the better golfers show up. So I'm asking a few of our chamber members to be like, "Are you a ringer? Can you show up? Can you play? Can you like help us win that trophy for this year as well? That'd be kind of cool." But either way, what happens is all that money kind of flows to a scholarship program. I've teamed up with former school board member Karen Alman. She was a board member of the Casselberry Chamber for many years, and she was obviously a school board member, and she leads the way to figure out how to um, pick the needy students and the students that also are deserving. So she has them write essays, takes care of every one of those pieces, goes to the local high schools, and it's more regional. It's kind of cool. Like we're helping folks from different high schools, and we're this year we're going to be giving $1,000 scholarships away to multiple students, and very proud about that. That was one thing I was bragging about at the actual upcoming or past multi-chamber of commerce event. Would be remiss if I don't have an opportunity to mention the Scouting Golden Eagle dinner, if you don't mind me bringing that up as well.
That's fine.
Yeah. So on April 24th at 6 p.m., the Scouting Golden Eagle dinner is a Thursday night is going to be raising money to help support scouting in Seminole County, Florida. And it's a big dinner. We're going to be honoring some very respected people in the community. I can't pronounce the names. I don't want to slaughter the names, but you can go to cflscouting.org and read their names and see who they are. Sign up to get a table, sign up to get a seat, and come out and check out all the good things that are going on that's going to be happening that night. The event's going to be in Lake Mary at one of the really nice hotels over there. Um, yeah, and I'm going to be there, so it'll be a very nice time. I think Jay Zimbauer is the chairman of that event, and he's a respected county commissioner, chair, I believe, of the county, and he's going to be leading that charge. So I'm excited to see all the good things that are be happening there. So we have a couple things coming down the pipeline. Like we have a lot of good events, and then we run into the fall, and then we're at Food and Wine Fest, and we have that we pour beer, pour wine, and have some cheese, have some snacks. We get the vendors to show up. We get to try some amazing food that comes out of the Casselberry area, and that's a big fundraiser for us. And that's a great way to end of the year and kind of pass the baton to the next board that's coming in the door. So we're excited. It's gonna be a great year. And good news, if you miss a speed networking this month, we're gonna be doing it again in July. So mark your calendars, first Wednesday in July, we're gonna be doing speed networking again. Invite yourself, invite your friends, and just show up and have a minute to get to know a bunch of new people in our community. And this is your chance to make really good business connections.
Awesome. Well, definitely thank you for your time. We got, I don't like to keep it too long, but we definitely covered a lot.
Yeah, I feel like
Um, and for anyone that's listening, as you tell, there's a lot to do in the area to get involved. And man, you make me tired. You make me want to go to sleep. I mean, from scouts to the chamber to the police foundation.
I hardly talked about my business at all. Like, can
Yeah.
I do a little like
Do you
how I
even
make
have a
money?
business? I mean, as my wife likes to say, she likes to tell people, "Oh, my husband has a bunch of jobs that he doesn't get paid for," and basically that's you. But yes, go ahead. Tell us a little bit about your business that we haven't heard about.
Yeah, like actually, this is how I make money now that I talked about all the stuff I do for free. Um, I actually do website design, SEO. I help people get found online and get found on social media. I run ad campaigns. I do blog articles, which are interlinks. So the Google algorithm, which has been released because they're trying to get their AI to learn the algorithm, so they released it to everyone to see finally. It's thousands of points that you could look at and try to get the algorithm. What I do is I put together a very well put together website. It can be e-commerce, it can be non-e-commerce, it could be informational, and it's grows. So my goal is to grow your SEO month over month over month with new engaging things. Because what will happen, and people don't understand this, like I have like epizanijr.com and i4webservices.com because of this YouTube video. Someone may actually look that up, but they're not going to look it up if they're just looking for website design in Casselberry. So I actually have a page that I created on my website that's website design Casselberry, web SEO Casselberry. So people can find me. I might not be number one on the list, but I'm showing up on that list. And I put those feelers out there and I put different questions because someone might be looking at a question like, what are terms that are search engine optimization related? That's something that someone looks up. They can see all the different terms. I put a library of definitions down in my website so people can see that. I even have sample blog articles that I've done for other companies along the way so they can see like samples of my work and be like, okay, you know what? We're going to give him a shot. I'm very transparent of what I do and I'm very communicative. So when I talk to folks, it's either Zoom, in person, telephone, text message, email. They name it. That's how I do it. And I'm available nights and weekends. I let folks know if I'm in the middle of a camp out with my daughter and the cell phone service is not great at the camp. You probably not gonna be able to catch me, but you pretty much know at that point I'm camping with my daughter. And last night I was at a meeting for scouts and I was text messaging a client. And prior to the meeting starting, I was on the phone with them because he had a concern, and it was actually a tool that Safari has that they were taking care of. So, and I was like, hey, this doesn't affect your website. Your website is fine. I said, took a screenshot from my phone showing that their website was fine. It's some sort of Safari update. Now they're giving you more information to protect your identity and so on and so forth. And Chrome is one of those that they do take your information and they use it. I always joke around, like, I could say hammocks and I could talk about God. Like, I literally had these conversations this week. One of my friends and I are looking at getting hammocks to camp in, and another one, he's a pastor of a church. We were talking about God. And now in my feed, like, there's all this stuff about God and hammocks. And
It's scary.
yeah, they do listen to what you're saying. So there's a function where you can turn that off, and there's also search engines where you can defend yourself so that won't happen. So I give recommendations and consulting for that. On the side of that, I do have coaching business that I do where I actually help people start up 501(c)(3) charities, and I charge a nominal fee for that. They can finance it over the course of time, or they can pay it all up front, which is kind of nice. So they have options. And a lot of people have passions in life, like I've talked about in the beginning of this video. I want them to pursue their passion and help impact the community in a good way. And then if they need a website to boot, I can make the website for their charity as well, sort of like what I did for Casselberry Police Foundation.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
it's nice to know that you have a job you get paid for,
Yes, yes.
which in the comments, we're going to put obviously your foundation stuff that you're involved in with some of those events coming up. I know I've been pushing out the golf tournament on my newsletter weekly, uh,
Hmm.
but I'll also be putting how to connect with you on your business,
Hmm.
because obviously, if anyone needs help, set up a 501(c)(3), SEO, website, like that's important. I mean, it's almost scary out there as a business owner. Most people will decide if they're going to work with you without even talking to you.
Hmm.
So that website presence and being able to be found easily is very important. And in fact, I don't know if you've heard this, but I've heard someone once say, "Where's the best place to hide a body?" And it's the second page of Google. So you got to make sure that when you search your name or you search something about you, you're coming up on that first page, because who clicks on the second?
I sometimes go on the second page because I get so many ads and sponsorships and stuff, and I want to actually find that local person. So sometimes it's top of page two, just because they put so much clutter in the first page. Uh, but I know that's me, and I'm not everyone. I'm kind of an outlier. So, um, but yeah, like it's definitely important to have those relationships. Yeah,
Well, definitely appreciate your time today. Very knowledgeable, very informed, and I'm wishing you a great 2025.
thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you guys all later.
Take care.